391-1755.
Ringling Brothers and Barnum & Bailey presents Out of This World, brought to you by Chick-fil-A of Southern California. Imaginations will skyrocket on this galactic journey through extraordinary new worlds with unexpected surprises and thrills at every turn. Ringling Brothers presents Out of This World, a family experience light years beyond your expectations. The countdown begins now. Stop by any participating Chick-fil-A restaurant and pick up a voucher to get kids tickets for $10. Restrictions and charges apply. See voucher for details. Playing now at Honda Center.
Plexus Slim, the pink drink. It works. Finally, there is a healthy solution to help you lose weight, experience quick results, and keep the weight off. People around the country are experiencing amazing results, and you can too. Plus, right now, you can try it free for 7 days. Just email your name, address, and phone number for a free sample to tryplexusfree@gmail.com. The pink drink. It works.
Good afternoon, 3:03 open season up ahead here on KCAA. First, a quick look at news. Ted Cruz is defending his refusal to endorse Donald Trump. Speaking to the Texas delegation this morning, Cruz said he is not in the habit of supporting people that attack his wife and father. Cruz was met with chants and boos when he failed to throw his support to Trump during his convention speech last night. And something the guys on open season may talk about, Major League Baseball may put limits on the use of relief pitchers in the near future. Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred told ESPN the problem is that relievers are so dominant they actually rob the game of late inning action. He also said that despite efforts to speed things up, the average game time is now about 15 minutes longer than a decade ago. Well, here at home, a woman found dead in a car that crashed into a fence in San Bernardino Wednesday night suffered a gunshot wound. A police official said it's the city's 41st homicide of the year. The woman who was in the driver's seat was the sole occupant of the vehicle. The collision was reported at 8:23 last night near North Fairfax Avenue, or Drive rather, and East Date Street. No other details have been released just yet. Inland Empire weather, triple digits all weekend long, sunny, hot, muggy, need I say more. Lows dropping down to only the 70s, low to mid 70s, so it's going to be a very warm night for you overnight, both tonight and Saturday. Cooling down a few degrees, we should be back into the 90s by Sunday. Moreno Valley, if you're driving through that area, keep in mind there is stop traffic on the 215 northbound between Cactus and Alessandro Boulevard. The southbound side of the 215 is slow from La Cadena to Central, and the 60 west slow from Pigeon Pass to the 215. And that is the very latest with news, weather, and traffic on the station that leaves no listener behind, KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
Woohoo! It's time for open season with award-winning sportscaster Larry Burnett. Open season, where they tackle issues, drop gloves, and swing for the fences. Hey, let's quit wasting time and dive right in to open season.
Open season is on the air, in the air, and almost everywhere. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Sports Fan, and all ships at sea. In baseball, Kershaw's back. No, he's not back, but his aching back is. Bad news for the Blue Crew. Good news for Angels fans. Albert Pujols is hot, hot, hot. You'll hear from Lakers guard Jordan Clark.
Basically, they are with a kind of law like that. You know, who has time for that? You know, everybody should have a chance to be able to enjoy where they live and who they are and not be afraid of who they are. And why do we still have to deal with this kind of stuff? First of all, it was Arizona back in the day when you know, the Martin Luther King Day, they didn't want to celebrate Martin Luther King Jr., and so they pulled the Super Bowl out of there. But why do we have to continue doing things like this, or even have to deal with things like this? This is 2016, and I think the NBA is making the right decision.
Well, you know, you'd like to think that sports and politics don't have to mix, but in this case, the commissioner basically saying, you know, we're taking a stand on this. And if you don't change things the way we want it, we're keeping our business out of there. And it creates the situation and the question, I guess, you know, what happens to the Charlotte Hornets if this continues? You know, would the league have the power to pull a franchise out of there, or would the owner, Michael Jordan and company, have the right of saying we're going to do our business where we want to do our business, but it could get really messy.
Yeah, it could, but the Hornets are a very popular team, especially in that area, obviously. So I don't know that something like that would happen. But then what about the Carolina Panthers? What happens with them? So it's
True.
Listen, those are the revenue streams. Those are major league sports, and I don't think North Carolina or the city of Charlotte wants to lose that revenue stream. And I think at some point they have to wake up and join the 21st century and get out of the 60s and 70s. It's ridiculous already.
Well, they've dug in their heels, and it's going to cost them money, and it certainly cost them as far as public relations are concerned as well. Let's switch over to the Dodgers. They won 6-3 in Washington, D.C. today, and they beat Steven Strasburg. He hadn't lost all year long. He goes to 13-1. Your buddy Justin Turner, couple of home runs, 5 RBI. He's now got a career-high 17 home runs this year, so he's tied with Corey Seager for the team lead. And Howie Kendrick extended his hit streak to 13 games. Dave Roberts used 7 relievers today. One of them, Adam Liberatore, got the win in the game. He
has no choice.
Well, yeah. Listen, they started Urias, and we'll talk about the whole pitching situation in a little bit. But Kenley Jansen came in, got his 28th save, and more problems for the Dodgers. Yasiel Puig had to leave that game with a tight hamstring, and that's just a continuing story game after game and year after year for him. But the win puts the Dodgers just 4 games back of San Francisco in the West. And the Giants will close out their road trip this weekend with 3 games at Yankee Stadium. Tomorrow it's Bumgarner against Tanaka. But here's the thing. The Dodgers were hoping to have Clayton Kershaw back for today's game. They thought he would pitch today's game against the Nationals, but he had a setback after he had that 60-pitch simulated game last Saturday, so they've shut him down. And Dave Roberts has even indicated, and they've kind of pulled back on this some, that there might be surgery down the road involved for Clayton Kershaw. So their ace is out for at least the rest of this month, and who knows how much longer down the road.
I have no idea how they're doing it. I have no idea how they're atop of the National League wild card race, and I have no idea how they're 4 games behind the Giants. I mean, with everything that's happening, you got to give Dave Roberts some props for this because he's obviously pulling the right strings, and maybe at this point Andrew Friedman is as well, as he's turned the Dodgers into the Tampa Bay Rays. But it's, at some point, if things keep going the way they're going, they're going to collapse at some point. I mean, they can't continue doing this. And, they really don't have a World Series team, I don't think.
No.
And they're going to have to make some deals. But I just don't know how Roberts is doing it, how he's got this team going the way they're going. Offensively, obviously, they're playing very well. But at some point, you can only it's going to happen. Something's going to happen because they just don't have the pitching staff to be where they want to be at this point with all the injuries and especially with Clayton out. It's over at that point.
Yeah, August 1st is the trading deadline. By the way, one of the other Dodger pitchers, Alex Wood, had arthroscopic surgery on his left elbow. That was after he had the Tommy John surgery, so looks like he's out until at least September. So it's going to be interesting to see what they're able to do before the trading deadline and get it done. Friday, the Dodgers start a 3-game series at St. Louis. They'll have Brandon McCarthy, then Maeda, then Kazmir thrown against the Cards, then home for 2 games against Tampa Bay and 3 against the Diamondbacks. How about the Angels? I mean, they've been hanging out in last place in the West. All of a sudden, they put a 6-game win streak together. They beat Texas last night 7-4, sweep the homestand. They're finally out of last place in the West. They don't have a pitching staff, but they're getting hitting from Pujols, and somehow, Mike Scioscia's got them winning.
Is it Trepiano that's out with
Trepiano? Yeah, the third pitcher out with the UCL in the elbow.
Yeah. Listen, here's the deal with the Angels. Especially with a guy they've won 10 out of the last 12, I think, too. With a guy like Albert Pujols and Mike Trout as well, and some of those other guys, there's a lot of pride on that team. And even with Mike Scioscia, there's a lot. This is a guy obviously that's won a World Series as a player and as a manager. So a lot of pride on that team, and you got to give them props because they're probably the hottest team in the major leagues right now. So who knows how long that'll last? But hey, get out of the cellar and keep fighting. You never know.
Yeah, it's smoke and mirrors though.
Yeah.
And Pujols, the guy had
Folks.
2 hits yesterday.
Yeah.
He had 2 3-run homers the other night against Texas. He got hit in the helmet with a pitch, and it went off his helmet into his face. He stayed in the game. He's got 11 RBIs in the last 3 games. So
Yeah.
he's stepping up. The Angels Friday at Houston to start a 6-game road trip. They'll have 3 against the Astros, 3 against the Royals. Friday, Shoemaker. Saturday, Weaver. Sunday, Tim Lincecum. Again, I don't know how they're putting it together, but somehow they're out of last place. They've won 6 in a row, and they're on a roll. Still to come on Open Season on this Thursday afternoon. Lakers guard Jordan Clarkson talking about his new coach and his new contract. You're going to hear from Rams rookie Duke Williams. We'll discuss the fine points of naked surfing with Courtney Conlog, and we'll check in with Craig Sager of TNT. He's the veteran broadcaster who's battling cancer, and he got to live out a dream by finally working the NBA Finals thanks to ESPN and ABC.
That was a tremendous gesture on ESPN and ABC to ask, and then for Turner to allow me to do it was pretty much, groundbreaking.
Ever wonder how celebrities get their skin red carpet ready? Look no further than the Fire and Ice Facial from Is Clinical, available at Nina MD Beverly Hills. The Fire and Ice Facial is an amazing clinical treatment designed to rapidly and safely regenerate the skin, reducing fine lines and wrinkles for an envious glow, while smoothing and softening to achieve that ageless face. Excellent for all skin types and ages, Is Clinical's Fire and Ice Facial is a celebrity favorite and provides dramatic results with no downtime, peeling, or side effects. The Fire and Ice Facial is normally $215, but call 310-777-7511 now. Mention this ad and pay only $179. That's over $35 in savings just by mentioning this ad. Don't miss out on glowing and radiant skin from Is Clinical and Nina MD Beverly Hills. For more info, visit ninamd.com or call 310-777-7511. That's 310-777-7511.
Have you ever gone to use a flashlight and the batteries were dead or the inside of the flashlight corroded, only having to throw it away? Or in a location where you had no way to charge your cell phone or camera? Well, all that has changed. Now there's Hybrid Light. The Hybrid Light brings the best of both worlds together with a strong 160 lumen LED light that lasts 12 hours on a single charge, and after a recharge from any light or power source, you're ready to go again. Hybrid Light lasts 7 long years and is even waterproof, and also contains a USB port to plug in your cell phone or camera to give you that special charge when you're not near an outlet. All this for the low price of $39.95 with promo code GARY. Call 1-800-297-8109 to be the first to have this great tool, or go to our website, hybridlight.com. That's 800-297-8109 or hybridlight.com, hybridlight.com, and don't forget to use promo code GARY.
If you're trying to prevent a home foreclosure, you need the Goodman Law Firm on your side. Goodman has a nationwide network of foreclosure attorneys to represent you during the mortgage mitigation process. The Goodman firm has resolved troubled mortgages across the nation. Take control of your mortgage situation today. Call the Goodman Law Firm, 888-800-6030, or contact them online at www.arnoldgoodmanlaw.com.
All right, back here on Open Season. Larry Burnett, Eric Geller, Di Rice handling the controls at the radio station for us. Talking a little baseball, the trading deadline coming up on August 1st. We've already seen Drew Pomerantz go from San Diego to Boston. Earlier this week, Mike Montgomery going to the Cubs from Seattle for minor leaguer Dan Vogelbach. So it should get interesting along the line here. But I thought, yesterday was an interesting day in baseball. You look at the Red Sox, Henley Ramirez, the former Dodger, hits 3 home runs in the win over San Francisco, made some great defensive plays. And the Giants, what's happened to the Giants? They haven't won since the All-Star break. That's what's happened to the Giants. Yeah. St. Louis, Jed Jarko hits 3 home runs Wednesday night in the sweep of the Padres. Washington yesterday, Bryce Harper, he hit one again today, 449-foot homer against the Dodgers. The Cubs, Anthony Rizzo, Tuesday, he strikes out 4 times in a game. Wednesday, he comes back. He hits 2 home runs off Bartolo Colon, one 451 feet, the other 436 feet. This is a year, Eric, it's really interesting because there's a lot of home runs being hit, but there's also a lot of strikeouts at the same time. It's like both levels are extremely high this year.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're always going to get those strikeouts like that. But I think the pitching is so inconsistent now. There, aside from guys like Kershaw and Bumgarner and other guys like that. I mean, really, the pitching is. Do you really Arrieta? I mean, are there really any great pitchers anymore aside from those 3 guys? Maybe there's just a lot of injuries and there's a lot of inconsistency in pitching, and it's crazy because. I've been to plenty of Dodger games, obviously, this year, and I've never been to so many games where one guy has multiple home runs in a game, and it's happened 4 times since I've been at Dodger Stadium this season alone. So it's crazy, and we said Turner hit 2 home runs today as well off of Strasburg. So it's crazy, but I think some of these pitchers are. They may not be as healthy as people think they are, and obviously take a look at what's going on with Clayton, but the pitching's just been really inconsistent this year. So good for the offense, I guess, if you like
Lots
offense.
of injuries, too. Lots of injuries, and that's, those arm injuries are tough on the pitchers. I want to switch over to the NFL now. One of the big issues this week that came out is that the league is going to put microchips in the footballs, and they're hoping to get data off of this as far as kicking, as far as velocity. One of the big reasons they're doing it is because they're thinking about moving the uprights in tighter to make field goals more difficult. And apparently this chip will tell them how far off the kicks are when they either go through or don't go through the uprights. Well, after the whole Tom Brady thing, the one thing it doesn't do, it doesn't tell you the air pressure in the football. So, listen, I like the fact that you get whatever data you can. And I would like to think that if there's a microchip in a football, that maybe when you have a play at the goal line, it'll be able to tell you electronically if that ball has broken the plane. And I would like to see it used to spot a football. And I've said this for years, Eric. It makes no sense to me with all the technology that we have in sports why we still have guys standing on the sidelines at football games with chains to tell you what the first down. You can't tell me that there aren't lasers or microchips or something that can put right down to the smallest measurement, where that ball should be or whether it's a touchdown or not. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, well, it's like in tennis, when there's always challenges on serves if they're in and out. The technology is there, and I think having a chip in the football to do that, to see if you get a first down or the football, crosses the plane of the goal line, I think that's perfect. And as far as the field goals, that's fine. I think that's a good idea to maybe make the goalpost narrower, and that what it'll mean. It'll mean a lot of these Arena Football League kickers are going to get some jobs because that's right. Those goalposts are really narrow, but if it makes it more, because they're always automatic, the extra points, and usually field goals are, unless of course it's cold or whatever, and but at Pittsburgh, the Steelers have decided. I think they're going to go for 2-point conversions after every touchdown this year. So I think it would add that to it would add that element to football games instead of like the automatic extra point and yada, yada, yada. So, that's fine, but I think the chip, you're right, the chip should be used for first downs. And plus, when you have those old guys that are running back and forth that have the markers, sometimes, people in those expensive seats, that's obstructed view because you've got that big round thing that has the number in it. So, get rid of those guys.
And the other thing that's interesting now is you talk about modernizing the game. They've got robots that they're using on the practice fields, like tackling dummies, that actually are remote controlled. And several of the teams are using them in training camp this year. I saw some of it on TV, and it's pretty amazing what they can do. So, technology is taking over everything.
It's a beautiful thing. I really like that idea, though, that you have about the goal line and the first downs, and use it. I mean, you're using replay as well, but why use replay when you have that, if there's a beep that goes with it when it crosses the goal line, with that sensor in there, use it. That way you don't have to go to the replay booth.
Well, it's like you said, if you can tell whether a tennis ball is in or out electronically, why can't you tell if the football has broken the plane of a goal line? I don't know. Your team, the Rams, open rookie training camp in Irvine next Tuesday.
Yeah.
The veterans will report on the 29th, and the first public practice down at UCI is going to be July 30th.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, August 6th. Mark this on your calendar, folks. Public practice at the LA Memorial Coliseum. If you want more information, go to www.therams.com. So we're going to see these rookies coming in, and you've been around these guys during OTAs. Certainly they got the number 1 pick in the draft in Jared Goff, but there's a guy named Duke Williams who was way, way up there in all the draft information until he fell well way down there and ended up with the Rams. What's his story? The
story is this. Look, he's got – a lot of people thought he was the number 1 wide receiver in the draft. But what happened with him is, he was a head case. He was always late to practice, and he was always getting suspended. And then he got into a barroom brawl. He's from Auburn, so this happened at Auburn. So he missed out on his whole senior season. So everybody steered clear of this guy because of the head case. But he's gone to counseling. The Rams are giving him a chance. And I got to speak with him because I think this guy, he's going to be one of these, top 10 lists where he's going to be one of the greatest wide receivers that was never drafted that made it in the NFL.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's ready to play.
All right, let's listen in.
I imagine you're thrilled to be here, especially the ordeal that you've gone through, and you're obviously first-round talent. And do you feel like you have a chip on your shoulder, something to prove now?
I mean, I have a big chip on my shoulder. I got a lot to prove. I'm back at the bottom. I went from being number 1 in college to, last on the depth chart. So I'm willing to, work every play, work every practice, work hard in the locker room, in the film room, and just show everybody that I'm here, and I'm here to, prove a point. I got a fire that's lit, and it's going to be very hard to put out.
I was going to ask you. I mean, you've got huge goals and huge aspirations, and you said you've been put back at the bottom, but you've got the talent. Do you like the role that you're in? That you have to prove yourself now? Because,
growing up, I always had to prove myself. So it's not new to me. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get back to the top, and that's what I'm gonna do. At the bottom, it's pressure. You gotta love pressure, and that's what I love pressure. Pressure busts pipes, but it ain't gonna bust no pipes this way.
So you're ready to earn everything.
Yeah, I'm ready to work hard and show these coaches I'm here to play. I got a couple vets in front of me that's helping me out. So, I thank them for that. I got Quick, I got Kenny Britt. Then us rookies talking among each other. So we are here to help each other and just become great all in one. I know that's like a chip on my shoulder, being rated the top receiver and then falling to the bottom from the mistakes I made. It's tough, mentally for me. But, I just thank God for this opportunity that he gave me. And I thank the Rams organization for this opportunity as well. So, that's in the past, so I'm just working on my future right now.
Yeah, and you said you learned, so how do you apply all that to, I guess, not just to football, but I guess, everyday life and things like that?
Just thinking before anything happened, not doing anything out of anger, looking at life like, why should I be mad when I got to live another day? God blessed me to play this game of football that a lot of people in this world wish they could play and wish they was in my shoes, But taking this path, it helped me out a lot. So that's what I'm doing right now, just taking it day by day, and, and enjoying the process.
Last question, your goal. I know that you obviously want to make the team, but what's your goal once you make the team? I know it's not an if for you, it's a when. You want to be on the team.
Like, whenever I make the team, I'm going full, I'm going all out. I'm gonna make my presence felt. And, once I lock in the whole playbook, everything down, then I can really maneuver how I want to. So that's my goal, to make the team, and when I do that, it's gonna be on from there.
Yeah, he's got, they drafted Pharaoh Cooper, they drafted Mike Thomas, and I think this guy is gonna be one of these receivers that no one's really talking about him. He's 6'2", 215 pounds. He was an all-SEC wide receiver before he got into all that trouble, and he got thrown off the team. And the Rams have two. This is a diamond in the rough. They have another one in Nelson Spruce, the kid from Colorado, who's actually from Westlake Village. during OTAs, he dropped one pass out of all the passes thrown to him. So these guys, watch them on special teams. Spruce is one of these like over the middle kind of a Wes Welker type of guys. But watch out for this kid because Duke is going to they're going to play special teams and they're going to make their presence felt. And I think they're going to make their presence felt when Jared Goff or Case Keenum is throwing a pass in their direction.
And it's interesting, too. I mean, I know that the Rams need to load up and get some offensive weapons for Jared Goff to help him out. But, you roll the dice a little bit with guys who have reputations, that bring baggage with them along the way. Sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't.
Sure. Well, Duke identified himself that he had issues and he wanted to go seek counseling to figure things out and to understand. He knows he's got a golden opportunity in front of him. And he doesn't want to mess it up because obviously it could be a lucrative, golden opportunity for him. So he's a good kid. I've talked to him a couple of times. He's a nice guy, and he said Brian Quick is there. Kenny Britt. They're kind of mentoring him. So every time I was watching him during the OTAs when he was on the sideline, either Britt or Brian Quick and sometimes Tavon Austin was over there talking to him because they know they've got a talent here that can help out the wide receivers. Because let's face it, until Goff or Keenum or someone, can throw the football and these guys catch the football, it's going to be 8 in the box. Everybody's going to go after Todd Gurley. So if they can get these guys to catch some passes and give Goff some time to throw the passes, that'll open it up. That'll open up the offense for the Rams.
Yeah, there needs some depth at that receiver spot. And Duke Williams, that's a great sports name.
Yeah. Well,
it's going to sound good on the PA.
Like Shaquille, but it's DeQuil. But his nickname is Duke Williams. So watch out for him. I guarantee you, he'll be on the team.
And sort of a couple of NFL/baseball notes from the Patriots. Julian Edelman homered over the Green Monster in batting practice at Fenway Park this week, and Rob Gronkowski threw out the first pitch at the Red Sox game and looked pretty good along the way. All right, coming up, I'm going to talk with TNT broadcaster Craig Sager. This guy's in for the fight of his life, and you're going to hear from Lakers guard Jordan Clarkson, who's enjoying his new contract and looking forward to a new season with a new head coach in Luke Walton.
But it's an exciting time for us right now, having a new coach come in and really change things, bringing a new culture, new energy. It's pretty good.
9MD Beverly Hills provides skincare solutions for patients undergoing cancer treatments. Personalized treatment regimens are initiated to achieve optimum remission states in those dealing with cancer. The IS Clinical Harmony Cancer Care Facial at 9MD Beverly Hills safely offers hope and relief for those challenged with the side effects and repercussions of intense cancer treatments such as radiation and chemotherapy. Rejuvenate, replenish, and soothe your skin. Let our certified technicians at 9MD Beverly Hills safely and effectively heal your skin with our IS Clinical products that are pharmaceutical grade, botanically based, paraben-free, and do not enter the bloodstream. Enjoy a day of pampering and revitalize your skin with 9MD Beverly Hills and our IS Clinical Harmony Cancer Care Facial for just $179. Each patient will receive a complimentary gift bag for take-home care. For more information, please call 310-777-7511 or visit us at www.9amd.com. That's www.nainamd.com.
If you're trying to prevent home foreclosure, you need a law firm with extensive experience representing clients in protecting their homes from foreclosure. The Goodman Law Firm is a nationwide team of mortgage mitigation attorneys that provides legal advice and expertise you can trust. Our nationwide network includes local of-counsel foreclosure attorneys to represent you during the mortgage mitigation process. The Goodman firm has represented homeowners across the nation in resolving their troubled mortgages. We have the experience and the knowledge you can count on to best represent your interests. The banks have attorneys fighting to protect their interests, and so should you. Call the Goodman Law Firm at 888-800-6030.
Take control of your mortgage situation today. Contact us at 888-800-6030 or through our website at arnoldgoodmanlaw.com.
Okay, back once again on Open Season. Larry Burnett along with Eric Geller. And if you're a basketball fan, you got to love this year. I mean, it's maybe been, 2-3 days all year where there haven't been basketball games. You had the parade in Cleveland, and the Summer League started, and the Summer Leagues end, and now you've got the Olympic teams ready to go. And from the Clippers, DeAndre Jordan working out with the U.S. Olympic team, and they'll be in Los Angeles coming up this Sunday for an exhibition game with China. I think it's a 5:00 game at Staples Center. It's like wall-to-wall basketball. It's going to take us right up until almost September, and then before you know it, it's October, and training camps are open, and there we go again.
Yeah, and it's 24-hour news cycle now, and you have the NBA Network, and they're showing every game. They showed every Summer League game from Orlando to Las Vegas, and I think they even showed the ones in Utah. So, it's wall to wall, and I think this is going to be good for DeAndre Jordan because I think I know Doc said this is going to be good for him and the Clippers only because he's going to work on his game. That includes free throws. And he should be making his presence felt. I think he's going to be backing up DeMarcus Cousins. So we'll see what happens. But, this is going to be good for the Clippers. This is going to be great for DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah, and DJ getting rave reviews from Mike Krzyzewski and also from Jim Boeheim on that Olympic team coaching staff. The Clippers signed Lakers free agent Brandon Bass. I think he'll fill out their bench and help them out a little bit. We're talking about DeAndre Jordan. One of his best friends in the league is Kevin Durant. And they're having a good time on the Olympic team together. But Durant came out after one of the practices in Vegas last week, and people asked him, well, why didn't you give the Lakers a meeting to maybe sign you as a free agent? And he pretty honestly said, you know what? I thought they were a few years away from being competitive. And I'm not sure he's not right.
He's absolutely right. But what I like is that Ingram is over there working out with the Olympic team, I guess. And
he and Randall and D'Angelo Russell are on the USA Select team, which is playing against the Olympic team in practices, and it's kind of the JV, if you will, that could eventually, in 4 years, be the varsity. So they've got like a minor league that they're building towards future Olympics, which is good.
Well, what caught me, and not off guard, but it just caught me, it sparked my interest, is that Durant thinks that, going up against Ingram was like, looking in the mirror. I guess they're very similar players.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. Yeah. But, listen, Durant's Durant, and I think, I'm not so sure, if things don't go well this year for the Warriors with all these guys, all these offensive guys, because apparently he was blown away by the Clippers, and I think the Clippers were more angling for possibly next season if it doesn't work out in Golden State. I'm not so sure. He's going to opt out, obviously, because the salary, the ceiling goes up. So he's going to get max money no matter what, but you never know. He might want to play for the Clippers. But it all depends what happens with Golden State. It's highly unlikely, but that's another option for him, and he knows it. So, and since DeAndre is a good friend of his, you never know.
Exactly. We'll have to see how it plays out along the way. The Lakers team went 3-2 in Summer League play in Vegas. D'Angelo Russell played well, averaged 21 points, shot 48%. Brandon Ingram had 22 points in the finale against the Jazz. He averaged 12 points a game. Larry Nance Jr. looked good. He sprained his wrist. And the big guy, the second-round pick, Zubac, the 7-footer from Croatia, 10 points, 7 rebounds per game, a little over 2.5 blocks, and he shot 65%. I saw a couple of his games. The guy looked pretty good.
Yeah, the Lakers have assets now. They have young assets. And who was it we were speaking with last week? Was it Howard Beck? I don't remember who it was, but I still think the Lakers are angling to make a bid for Russell Westbrook. He's not gonna sign an extension with Oklahoma City. And I'm just thinking, D'Angelo Russell, maybe Julius Randle, a couple of draft picks maybe, or a combination. I hope they don't give Brandon Ingram up, but I just have a feeling
Yeah, but if you give up all that to get Westbrook, then you've got Westbrook and Mozgov, and that's it.
Yeah, you've got Brandon Ingram, you've got Jordan Clarkson, you've got Larry Nance Jr., and but here's the deal. For me, the ceiling goes up for everybody, and they can attract another free agent next year to go along with Russell Westbrook. But my thing is this: they're in the running for something like that. They have the assets now, where before they just had absolutely nothing. So I think they're showcasing this young talent. They're not going to – what are they going to win? Maybe they'll double their output from last year, maybe. But
34, were you going for 34 wins?
Maybe 30. I don't know, 28, 30, something in there. But they have assets. They have good young assets on there, and it might be attracted to a guy like Russell Westbrook to come home and sign a long-term contract with the Lakers and maybe attract another free agent to go along with those guys that he has.
There's a lot of ifs there. There's a lot. If I'm Westbrook, I say, okay, maybe going home is good. But if all the good young talent is going away to bring me in, then what do I have to work with? So we'd have to see, how that would all play out. You mentioned Jordan Clarkson. His hard work has paid off. He got a 4-year, $50 million deal. Started 79 games last season, averaged 15 points per game. And I caught up with Jordan just last week, and he said the new contract was a direct result of his hard work and perseverance.
I think so. Coming from being a 46th pick in the draft 2 years ago to where I am now, it's been a lot of work. Credits to everybody that I've worked with, my whole team and everybody. It's been a process, and we got here, but it's not over. It's just beginning for us.
How would you describe the process? Because certainly there were some ups and downs along the way, and now you're on a big up.
Yeah, for sure. I just remember always from day one, that's draft day, when I'm sitting in my house with all my family and friends, and it's been 2 hours and I hear my name called, to now getting the contract for 4 years here with the Lakers and becoming one of the young pieces that trying to turn this thing around. It's a lot of stuff changed since that day, and over a matter of 2 years, so that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I think when players sign with a team, they figure the coach is going to stay there for a while, the personnel is going to stay there for a while. It hasn't been the case with you and the Lakers so far. How difficult has it been to make the transition and now to another new coach?
It's been a tough 2 years, but it's an exciting time for us right now, having a new coach come in and really change things, bring a new culture, new energy. It's pretty good. It's really crazy. So I'm excited.
The great players in all sports usually find one aspect of their game to work on during the offseason to make themselves better. Magic did it every year, always came up with something. What did you work on this year?
A little bit of everything. I've put on some weight. I'll continue to work, improve a little bit behind the line a little bit. I'm just ready for this year to, kind of put everything on the floor like a painter and a canvas. Man, I've been working all this summer, and, I'm just excited.
Like a painter and a canvas, and he's ready to get going with his 4 years and $50 million. We all know the Lakers weren't anywhere near the NBA Finals last season. They had to get tickets to get in. But Craig Sager, he was there. The veteran TNT broadcaster is battling cancer. The guy's undergone chemotherapy, stem cell transplants. He worked tons of games, NBA games. It seems like he was always on TNT working a game, but he had never worked an NBA Finals game because, of course, TNT didn't have the rights to the finals, so he'd get to the conference finals and he was done. Well, this year, rival network ESPN ABC offered Sager a chance to work Game 6 of the series between the Cavs and the Warriors. TNT agreed, and Sager got to live out his dream. Here's the guy with all the colorful sport coats.
That was a tremendous gesture on ESPN ABC to ask, and then for Turner to allow me to do it was pretty much, groundbreaking. Although we're good friends and the production crews know each other and we share camera people and the announcers all get along together, there's an awful lot of competition with the marketing departments and the sales departments and, the rights fees and everything like that it was something I didn't really think would ever happen. And when they asked me to do it, I said, of course. And everybody was so great. I mean, Mike Breen and Jeff Van Gundy and, Mark Jackson, but I mean Doris Burke went way out of her way to make me comfortable, and she was terrific.
What people don't realize is that maybe 15 years ago, that might have never happened. I mean, people didn't even want to share video with each other.
Networks. Right. I don't think it would have happened, 15 months ago. I mean, it was something that, the commissioner was very pleased. That's what he wants. He wants the synergy between the companies. He wants everybody to promote the NBA, and when we do a game, he wants us to promote ESPN's next game. When ESPN has a game, he wants us to promote TNT's next game. So he was thrilled about it. So, it's one big family, I guess. And, I was fortunate to be the one that was able to help bridge the gap.
I'm sure you're tired of talking about cancer, but it has had to have changed your life.
Oh, when somebody tells you you have a terminal disease like cancer, it changes a lot. I think one of the biggest things that changes is your perception of time. You don't know how much you have left. You get reports and they tell you have 3 weeks, and then you say, I'm not going to put up with that. It's going to last more than 3 weeks, and you fight and you get upset and you aren't willing to give up, you're not willing to give in, and then you defy the odds, and then they say, well, if you don't do this right away, your chance of survival are slim, and so you do that, and so then you get to the point where they have confidence in you, and then they say, hey, you defied odds and everything else we do, we want to try a third transplant. And I go, well, what are the chances of survival of that? They go, hey, don't worry about it, everybody's different, so that's what I'm facing now is a possible third transplant, which would be probably August, September.
Well, hang in there. We're all pulling for you. And closing on a lighter note, how many jackets do you actually have in your closet?
Probably between 135 and 150.
Good luck to you.
You got it.
Good
Thanks.
to see you. 150 sport coats, and I wonder if he's got the shoes to go with it. By the way, he's got some of the worst clothes in the history of television. Nice guy, but he's got some terrible clothes.
Yeah, but that's his niche right there. Everybody, likes to play with him. Listen, he's an amazing. Look. We're all going to go at some point, but it's about going. Well, no, you know what I mean, but it's about going on your own terms. And I think he's fighting. He wants. It's his own terms, no matter what. How. And I saw, I recorded the ESPYs, and I saw that segment when he got the Valvano award there. But what he goes through, he went he was in the Houston hospital getting chemotherapy, and then he took a 3-hour drive to San Antonio to be the sideline reporter for that playoff game was it San Antonio and I forget Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City, yeah.
And then he went back the next day. He went back to Houston for another round of chemotherapy. That's unbelievable, and good for him. And he said, he's living a dream. He's not really working. It's always fun for him. And what I love is his interactions with Greg Popovich with the Spurs. Everybody knows, how Popovich handles reporters. I've been on the end of one of those, answers to one of my questions and took a bullet there. But what I loved about that, what I love about his interactions with Greg Popovich is that when all this was going down, when he showed his admiration and his respect for him, and I think he does it because he wants to be part of the comedy team there at with Sager. So listen, he's awesome. He's amazing, and he's fighting, and it's great. And I love his sport coats.
Oh my goodness! Well, okay. Break time here on Open Season. Coming up, we're going to look back at the fantastic finish at the British Open, and we'll talk with surfer Courtney Conlog, who took the plunge and surfed naked for ESPN Magazine's Body Issue.
I think most people have seen me actually in my bikini, so I think everyone kind of recognized me, but they were just kind of shocked to see everything off and everything revealed.
Ever wonder how celebrities get their skin red carpet ready? Look no further than the Fire and Ice Facial from Is Clinical, available at Nina MD Beverly Hills. The Fire and Ice Facial is an amazing clinical treatment designed to rapidly and safely regenerate the skin, reducing fine lines and wrinkles for an envious glow, while smoothing and softening to achieve that ageless face. Excellent for all skin types and ages, Is Clinical's Fire and Ice Facial is a celebrity favorite and provides dramatic results with no downtime, peeling, or side effects. The Fire and Ice Facial is normally $215, but call 310-777-7511 now. Mention this ad and pay only $179. That's over $35 in savings just by mentioning this ad. Don't miss out on glowing and radiant skin from Is Clinical and Nina MD Beverly Hills. For more info, visit ninamd.com or call 310-777-7511. That's 310-777-7511.
If you're trying to prevent home foreclosure, you need a law firm with extensive experience representing clients in protecting their homes from foreclosure. The Goodman Law Firm is a nationwide team of mortgage mitigation attorneys that provides legal advice and expertise you can trust. Our nationwide network includes local of-counsel foreclosure attorneys to represent you during the mortgage mitigation process. The Goodman firm has represented homeowners across the nation in resolving their troubled mortgages. We have the experience and the knowledge you can count on to best represent your interests. The banks have attorneys fighting to protect their interests, and so should you. Call the Goodman Law Firm at 888-800-6030. Take control of your mortgage situation today. Contact us at 888-800-6030 or through our website at arnoldgoodmanlaw.com.
Back once again here on Open Season. Larry Burnett along with Eric Geller, and we want to say thanks to Di Rice, who's been handling the controls on the show for several months. She's leaving after this week and going into a respectable profession of
Gonna
teaching.
miss her.
Yeah. So thanks to Di and best wishes along the way. We're not far from the start of the college football season. It's just a few weeks away, and I was looking at a thing. Everybody's talking about Alabama being the consensus pick to win it all, but I was looking at some of the numbers on where the betting money is, and the Westgate Superbook in Vegas, most of the money is being bet on Michigan.
Yeah.
Michigan to win it all, followed by LSU, Clemson, Ohio State, and Florida State.
Yeah.
So the so-called experts are saying Alabama, Alabama, and the people who are really putting their money out there are saying Michigan.
Listen, when you have Jim Harbaugh who's recruiting, personally recruiting, and he's staying overnight at some of these recruits' house, and hey, the guy's a great coach. He was a great college coach, obviously a great pro coach as well. But he knows how to recruit, and he knows how to get the right players for his system, and he knows how to motivate them. And literally, he's getting all these top blue chip players. And yeah, I can see that. I can see Michigan being the best team in the country. I think they might knock Alabama off that perch.
Yeah, I don't know if they're there just quite yet. Last week when
last year
we were talking about the British Open, and Phil Mickelson had started out with that great 63 when he had a chance to get a 62. We were kind of wondering, okay, is Phil going to collapse? Is he going to win this thing? Well, he didn't collapse, but he didn't win this thing because Henrik Stenson, the guy from Sweden, shot a 63 in the final round and won by 3 strokes. Mickelson played great. He had a 65 on the final round, but those two players were off on their own.
Yeah.
And even Mickelson was 11 strokes better than the next person behind him. But here's the thing about golf that drives me crazy. You can shoot a 63 and you still come off the course like Phil did on round 1. If I had just made that putt on 18, I would have had a 62. It's like no matter how great you play, it's never good enough because you could have played better.
It's an unforgiving sport, and I watched that final round because I was pulling for Phil Mickelson because as he gets older and you want him to see him win and maybe get some other get in there to get some more majors, but that last round with those two guys looked like a game of horse in basketball.
Yeah.
And I've never seen anything like that because the only way I can play golf like that if there's a windmill hole and a clown face, you know. So, but they're amazing. They were amazing. And I've never seen I've never seen a round of golf like that with the two leaders just going back and forth. And literally, it looked like it reminded me of that old commercial. Was it Larry Bird and Michael Jordan for McDonald's where they did that horse, you know? And
yeah, off the roof, and yeah.
They were. I mean, it was amazing, and it was a lot of fun to watch, and it was you know, golf is very difficult to watch sometimes, but that was pretty entertaining.
It took you back to the old days when know, Arnie and Jack used to do it, and Gary Player was involved. You know, they had some Tom Watson and Lee Trevino, and you know those guys were involved. Speaking of great players, Tiger Woods skipping the PGA Championship next week at Baltusrol, and word is he's not going to play the rest of the season. So that back problem he's got is apparently not even close to being ready to get him back in. And as great as the British Open was, that was one of the few tournaments that would not have been better maybe with a Tiger Woods involved. I think they need him in the game.
I think they do as well, but who knows? Listen, back problems, it's all about torque. And look at Kershaw, you know, it's the same. Once your back goes, look at Larry Bird. His back went and he was done. So maybe it's good for him. Is he going to win another major? Is he going to win another tournament? I hope he comes back and plays well next year.
Is he going to play again?
Yeah, that's the thing. But wow, he just dropped. What happened to that guy? A lot of people, there's a lot of rumors that maybe he was juicing and then, you know, he was off the juice and he just started to get the juice maybe like, you know, helped him, not help him, but, you know, got those injuries.
Allegedly.
Yeah. It's alleged, you know. I hate saying that word because you end up having to say it every other word when you're.
Well, you just gotta cover your butt in those situations. By the way, golf is going to be in the Olympics next month in Rio, and in 2020, surfing is going to be an Olympic sport in the Tokyo Games. And pro surfer Courtney Conlog was so excited about that news that she stripped down to her birthday suit and went surfing for the body issue of ESPN magazine. Now, when I saw Courtney recently, she had all of her clothes on, but I had to ask the burning question. How many people have said, gee, I didn't recognize you with your clothes on?
I think most people have seen me actually in my bikini, so I think everyone kind of recognized me, but they were just kind of shocked to see everything off and everything revealed. But it was more just like me doing a shoot like that is very once-in-a-lifetime moment, and it was definitely a great shoot and really honored to shoot with Stephen Lippman, and it turned out really well. We shot in Tahiti, and the shots came out, I think, amazing. So
what
really
was the experience like for you?
Well, at first it was definitely like that moment where it's a YOLO, like you just drop your robe off and just go, I'm just going to enjoy this. And then I'd say the surfing was really exhilarating when I actually did the surfing and pulled into the barrel on the surgeon's table when it was over dry reef, and it could be either hospital or get the shot, and I got the shot, so I'm really happy.
How pleased are you that surfing is being included with so many of the major sports?
I think it's great. I think surfing's really evolving right now. To have the World Surf League, WSL, really representing and backing our sport, and the Dirks, the Ziffs, and everyone that's really investing in surfing, and having sports surfing now in the Olympics is incredible. So I think it's just been a long time coming, and now that we're here, it's a great movement.
Courtney, my final question for you is, was that the first time you've ever done naked surfing?
Yes, I've never skated it, let alone do that in broad daylight and pull into barrels. So I'm definitely, it was an exhilarating moment, and it was a once-in-a-lifetime amazing feeling.
So there you have it. There you have it.
We were talking.
You don't know what to say either, do you?
Well, listen, surfing. I've covered the OP Pro and the World the championships at Huntington Beach. It's the greatest sporting event I've ever covered. But, you know, thinking about it, how come that's never been in the Olympics? You've got Costa Ricans, you've got New Zealanders, you've got Australians, you've got the Hawaiians, which they don't, you know, get together with the United States. But you've got the United States. Kelly Slater, I hope he's still surfing and makes it to the Olympics. And they had it in Australia. I mean, yeah, it's perfect. Why they have all the snowboarding in the Winter Olympics. Why not the surfing?
No, it makes sense. Makes total sense. By the way, this weekend, Jeff Gordon will be driving the number 88 car for Dale Earnhardt at Indianapolis, the Brickyard. And then next week, he'll also be filling in for Earnhardt at Pocono. Dale Earnhardt Jr. with concussion symptoms that have bothered him and caused him all kinds of problems. And Eric, got a great deal for you on a house. It's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's house.
Yeah.
He's selling his home in Marina Del Rey for just under $3 million. 3,200 square feet of interiors featuring marble floors, decorative columns, hand-carved mahogany doors, vaulted ceilings, a view of the harbor, and a fireplace in the master bedroom.
I have a $25 Visa gift card. You think I could put a down payment with that thing just to, no?
I think that'll hold it until you can pay for it. Hey, thanks to you, Eric. Thanks to Di Rice. Good luck in your endeavors, Di. Thanks to Craig
Di. Thank you.
Williams, Jordan Clarkson, Courtney Conlog, and thanks to you, everybody, for tuning in. Be sure to join us next week for open season. One of our special guests will be Tim Brown, who covers Major League Baseball for Yahoo Sports. Tune in Thursday, 3:05 p.m. next week. And until then, try to get out and have some fun.
This is 1050 AM KCAA Loma Linda and 106.5 FM Yucaipa.
I'm Tom Busby, CNBC Radio. A changing of the guard at Fox News. Chairman and CEO Roger Ailes has resigned for harassment. His boss, media mogul Rupert Murdoch, will run all the Fox News channels until a successor is named. On Wall Street, no records today. A mixed bag of earnings and a $1 a barrel drop in the price of oil had investors selling out of stocks instead of buying in. At the close, the Dow was down 77 points, the Nasdaq down 16. Same-store sales growth at Starbucks last quarter, slower than forecast in the U.S., faster than expected in China. Sales of existing homes rose more than 1% in June to the fastest sales pace in 9 years. That's despite a tight supply of homes on the market. And a big merger in the mining and construction machinery industry. Japan's Komatsu is buying Wisconsin-based Joy Global for $3.7 billion. Tom Busby, CNBC Radio.
O'Reilly. If your vehicle isn't stopping like it used to, head to O'Reilly Auto Parts and take advantage of the exclusive Do It Right rebate. Just purchase a set of Brake Best Select or Select ceramic brake pads and you'll receive a $10 O'Reilly gift card by mail. Plus, enjoy quiet, safe, worry-free braking. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. With one phone call, you'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information. It's a free service, so call now.
800-391-1755. 800-391-1755.
Good afternoon, 4:02. Di Rice here with the very latest in live, local, and national news on KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM. Donald Trump wrapped up a convention speech walkthrough earlier today. The real estate mogul will formally accept the GOP presidential nomination in a primetime speech that's expected to draw millions of viewers worldwide tonight. Many pundits say a good speech by Trump could go a long way in erasing a lot of the convention missteps. And Hillary Clinton may be on the verge of announcing her VP pick. There are reports that the likely Democratic nominee will announce her running mate sometime during her Friday-Saturday campaign swing in Florida. Clinton's short list is said to include Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack, New Jersey Senator Cory Booker, and Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren. Well, here at home, an animal cruelty investigation has been mounted after yesterday's grim discovery of several dead and neglected dogs at a home at the south end of Riverside. Most of the dogs were pit bulls. Animal control officers responded to a call from neighbors about foul odors coming from a house on Avocado Way near Lake Matthews. Spokesman John Welsh of Riverside County Animal Services said that some of the 11 dogs had been dead for days. 27 others were taken to another shelter. There was no immediate word about the identity or the owner or the occupant of the trash-filled house. Inland Empire weather, sunny, hot, muggy over the next few days. Highs up near 105. Today we got up to 102, and tomorrow we should be a few degrees warmer here in San Bernardino. Lows into the 70s, so you're going to have a very warm night tonight. And looking at your drive in Ontario, an accident has cleared 10 eastbound just before Euclid Avenue. Traffic, though, is still backed up to Monte Vista. Your alternate, of course, the 60 East, which is backed up to the 15. And the 210 East is slow from Mountain to Milliken. And let's see, we're talking, that's the same accident. In Ontario as well, the carpool